Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
We're back. Well, I don't want to jinx that by saying that.
True.
But
we can't trust anyone, it turns out. Lest our audio programs.
In the general scheme of things, over the past 4 years, the program, whose name we cannot say, has been fairly trustworthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes we are reminded of why a lot of people do not use this program.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, hey, just a reminder, don't trust me. I'm a bad boy.
Right. Yeah. You think you know me? You think we have something good here? Fuck you.
It just, like, it gets very, like, angsty YA, like, lover. And it's like, I'm not good for you. You shouldn't trust me.
Right.
And it's like, all right, fuck off. Okay, we got it. Are you done now?
Yeah.
Can you, like, save my audio, though? And it's like, yeah, I guess. But, like, I'm not good for you.
Right. Yeah.
All
you
right,
should be with
Jesus,
somebody else who respects you and you deserve.
So annoying.
But anyway, we're back. We're back.
But we're here, though.
We're here.
We're great.
Round 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Stop.
Squeak Will.
Okay. Every time someone says that, I remember how much money I asked for to go and see Alvin and the Chipmunks in theaters. Like, that was, I remember that being like... How many times
did you see it in theaters?
I plead the fifth.
Oh, no.
I mean, that was like peak middle school.
Is it Jamie Dornan level of buying Trolls World Tour for his kids?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm just saying that, like, that was peak middle school.
Sure.
And I lived in a place where, in this time, there was not much to do.
Yeah.
For 12 to 13-year-olds other than go and sit in a dark place for 2 hours and be like, yes, like, this is it. This is what being a youth is like.
Right. This is what society and culture was invented for. It's all coming to a head here.
Exactly. I mean, if that's not the show, I don't know what is, folks.
Hey, welcome into the Twilight, baby. Woo!
Here's what I will say about that, though. I do think that the chipmunks from the Alvin and the Chipmunks universe are cryptids.
I mean, I guess. In what? They're just chipmunks, are they not? Do they have other, like, is there, like, a mythos? You know what I mean? Like, besides the fact that they could talk and sing and dance, but, like, that could be acquired to any animated...
Hold on just a second. Do you consider... under the list of characteristics that are regular chipmunks.
Right.
Because I've never encountered a real chipmunk in my life.
Right.
So who am I to fucking say? But under the characteristics that are a, quote, regular chipmunk, according to you, Cody, are sing, dance, talk.
Okay. Here, no.
Can you confirm?
No, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, yes, they do sing and dance and talk in their fun little voices. Absolutely.
Right.
But that logic can be applied to any animated movie about animals, period. Because that's all they do. Is every animated animal a cryptid?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Let me...
I do have a binder.
This presentation laid out for so long.
Yeah.
And no one has had the audacity to ask me.
No one's had the courage to.
No one has had the time. Yeah. Anytime that I've brought this up, people have, oddly, they keep looking at their watches.
Right.
And talking about their grandparents. It's really weird. But I'm so glad that now we have a medium where we can just talk about this.
Right, of
course. And people pay us to do that. So, folks, I'm so glad that we are back. Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Hey.
The Squeakquel.
The Squeakquel.
Where I get to lay out for you point by point how Alvin and the Chipmunks is connected to the Stephenie Meyer cinematic universe.
Ooh,
and here we go.
Let's go. Buckle up.
This will now be a 7-part miniseries.
Yeah, HBO Max, get ready. I will. Our email is open for money, contracts.
What if this turned into Criminal? Like,
here's a follow-up question. What if God was one of us?
All right, well.
Bingo board, hey-o.
I'm just saying.
I just gotta give some to the people, every now and then. I just gotta give them a bone.
I agree. I agree. I'm just saying that, like, the next April Fool's Day, don't be surprised if that is what comes into your feed. Yeah. A Criminal podcast-esque layout. We
commission someone to do new art for it. Like, we totally change everything. We just
100%.
Switch. Absolutely.
100%. I love it. Anyways, welcome into the Twilight. We're here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I wanted to bring something to space. It's not necessarily a happy thing. It's more of like a eulogy.
Okay.
For our beloved Yahoo Answers.
I fucking knew you were going to bring this. We have the same brain. Go on.
Thank you. So as you must know, it found out today, or this last week or so, that Yahoo Answers, which was already on the out for a while, was gonna be totally shut down. Which is tragic, and it's really sad because it's part of culture, right?
Yep.
But I have a couple I've pulled up here that bring me joy, that I just want to
excited to hear them.
Relay with this beautiful music.
We have the same fucking... I knew without you even putting this into the notes that you were going to bring this in today. I knew it.
It's important. It's like they're like burning down the Library of Alexandria. Like, this is important culture that we're missing out on.
I swear to God, Cody, I could have written it in a piece of paper, mailed it to Chicago. I could have bet money on it. I had this queued up on my phone. I had it set to the chorus because I was so confident that you were going to bring this as your happy thing. Like, I knew.
Wow. I love how easy I am to read.
I have just pinpointed your brain with such fucking accuracy over the past 4 years. But please, go on.
Thank you. Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you want to just go apeshit? What if one day the cows fight back? I don't think I've ever seen a toucan. Me and my friend both applied for the same job. He got it, and I didn't. Can I sue Papa John's? Why doesn't the Grand Canyon have rides? Should spaghetti be way shorter? Why is there no beef nuggets?
I forgot I was crying happy tears, and then I forgot that this song makes me actually cry.
There's so many, but it's truly an incredible collection of culture, of the human experience.
Here's what I have to say, Yahoo. I briefly used your service.
Yeah.
In elementary school when my friends got bored of AIM.
Yeah.
Don't you think that us as a nation, as a world, that we've lost enough over the past year?
Absolutely.
That you have to take one of the only things of joy on the internet away from... Like, can we just have one thing?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So, R.I.P. Yahoo Answers.
For real.
Thank you for all the gifts. How are you, my dude?
I'm doing okay. This is the... Well, when this comes out, it won't be my spring break anymore, but when we're recording this is my spring break. So I'm doing all right. My happy thing this week is, and I don't say this often, but I might have changed my opinion on something.
Oh.
And I know that I'm going to sound like a fucking stereotype of myself, but I am afraid of marsupials.
Yes.
I don't understand them. And not just not understanding them, but I don't get the hype.
Right.
Is what I'll say. Mm. so many people on Tumblr, I will say, when I was younger, but now on Twitter, are like, oh my god, they're so cute, like, same. And I'm like, I don't identify as a rodent, specifically. I find possums scary.
Yeah.
I just let them be. Same with raccoon. Like, I just let them be.
Sure.
I'm not gonna tell them what to do. They're not gonna tell me what to do. Whatever. But I think I've changed my mind a little bit. This person on Twitter, Gray Chen _ found a possum in their trash can and took a picture of it. And unfortunately, this possum is the most photogenic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dashing. Absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with this possum.
This possum has a single-use paper bowl on its head.
Right.
As a hat.
Right. But, like, wearing it in the way that, like, you would wear, like, a derby hat, you know? Like, a fancy, like, Kentucky, like, it's incredible. Yeah, and just not, like, first photo, smize. Right.
Love
yes,
it.
Absolutely.
And second photo is what I can only describe as, like, just got off an amusement ride. Like, just pure joy.
Yeah.
I wanted to share it with the class.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of strong current events.
Yes. It's a strong vibe.
I don't know that I would say that they're good, so much as they are all just a fucking shot no chaser this week.
The vibes here are palpable.
Yes.
Across the board.
We need to talk about Mike Newton's ass.
We do.
Hopefully at this point you might have heard that Michael Welch, a.k.a. Mike Newton,
the one, the only,
is currently focusing most of his energy on his OnlyFans.
Okay.
Which came as a shock to me,
right?
Personally.
Yeah. When
that news, and particularly his ass,
right,
came across
on
our
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. Which is news upon itself, but I think also, given how much we have talked about, and almost, some have said, manifested this on this show by saying fuck Mike Newton, we gotta talk about this. Yeah. First things first, it's OnlyFans, right? So, like, whatever.
Yeah, do your thing. Get your coin. Live your life. Exactly.
And he went on Twitter pretty soon after this news and was like, whatever. Like, I'm an adult. This gives me stability for my family. I have the flexibility that I need to do with this. I'm not doing anything I don't want to do because I'm an adult.
Yes.
And it's also giving me motivation to take care of my body. So, like, whatever.
Yeah.
So on that part, like, cool. I don't get to have any say on that part.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever. Other than, like, it's another celebrity on OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Which is annoying, and from what I have seen over the past couple of years, does harm to actual sex workers.
People just trying to live and make an actual stability and money and stuff.
Yes. But whatever. Like, I don't give a shit. Other than the fact that I was not personally expecting to see Mike Welch's ass on my timeline.
Yeah.
From the perspective of, like, I would imagine that it's pretty hard to get acting gigs right now.
Right.
I get why this is the link that he has on his Twitter account. And not, like, I don't know, his portfolio or his reel or whatever the shit.
Yeah.
I just personally, of all of the people from Twilight and, like, that area to pivot to OnlyFans, this is not the one I was expecting.
Yeah, definitely not the first one I would
100%
expect to make a little pivot.
Absolutely. I don't want to see any more photos of Michael Welch and his body on Twitter. I'm personally so good. Thank you. But, like, I don't give a shit. Like, make your money. That's fine.
Yeah.
I would imagine that there are a lot of people that will pay for that. Yeah. So, good for you, I guess.
Absolutely.
Could you take us to a Dakota Johnson corner?
Would I ever?
Please and thank you.
We have another beautiful headline / Dakota Johnson quote, powerful quote.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. You know, I feel like she got a little shit for the Lyme thing, the lies.
That's true.
Maybe took a little bit of a backseat with saying wild stuff. But we have another good one up here. It's from Refinery 29, Eliza Huber, potentially. Who knows?
One of the things I love about this, one, I think that for both of us, this headline, which you're about to read, caught our interest.
Right. It's incredibly powerful. So I'll just say it and we can all just like sit in the moment for a little bit. We can just like bask in it. Dakota Johnson on personal style. I'm just a regular ball in the daytime and then a disco ball at night.
Which, whoa.
Wow. Just think on that. Everyone think on that for a minute. Let it sink in. Internalize it.
Everything that Dakota says feels shocking.
Yeah.
And that is why I love that Eliza was tasked with covering this story.
Yes.
Because you might think like, oh, Dakota's up to this again.
Right.
Typical Dakota.
Yeah.
And it would be very easy, I think, for the average person to just forget about the Lyme crime. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Eliza, on the other hand, does not.
From the jump. Will not let you forget it. Sentence right out the gate. Number 1. Dakota Johnson lies about Lymes. Period.
First thing you need to know.
That's it. Done. Before we even go anywhere else, we got to establish a foundation here.
I love that. Like, before you even know about Dakota Johnson and her family, about her acting career, you need to know that she is a liar when it comes to citrus.
Yeah.
And then, once you know a little bit about that, then you can start to dig into whatever the fuck this quote is. Which, Dakota, my love, my light.
Yeah.
What could you possibly mean by this?
A regular ball.
I don't know about you, but when you sit with this, when you think about a regular ball, what the fuck comes to your brain?
Like, regular is throwing me off.
100%.
Because if you were like, oh, like a ball, like what is a ball in your mind? I go like those like big exercise balls. They're like, some people like to use instead of like office chairs because they're fun and quirky and work in like a WeWork or whatever, you know?
Absolutely.
That vibe. That's generally what, but a regular ball. I don't know I don't know what the context for that even means.
What is that even supposed to be? Because the first thing that comes to my head when I think about that is like a dodgeball.
Sure.
My dear Dakota, do you ever feel like a rubber ball is my question.
Ooh,
or do you identify as like a softball? Like, what are you thinking? Because there are way too many balls to just say like, oh no, I'm just like a ball. This is legitimately, since we recorded our lost episode, has kept me up at night.
Yeah, it's haunting.
As a sports bitch, TM, who played too many sports, and each sport, whether people like to think about it or not, has a different personality. When you just say a regular ball, one, that tells me you do not play sport.
Yeah.
But also, what does it mean?
Dakota,
I think,
please.
Honest to God, if I ever met Dakota Johnson, I am very tied between whether I would ask her a follow-up question about the limes or if I would ask her about the regular ball. Like, I don't know.
If you had one question to ask, you know.
Right.
It's hard to choose.
We have non-Twilight news. And before you folks skip ahead, the reason why we have non-Twilight news is because we need to get your opinion on something.
This is a humble request.
It's a humble request, and I might...
And also a threat.
A gentle threat, and also I might regret asking about this, but that's fine. On Twitter, which if you're not following us on Twitter, that's fine, but also, who are you?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I saw some news about this certain series that I've heard quite a bit of talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that it was being adapted into a Hulu series as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is currently the kind of specifications for coming on to this here podcast.
Right. It fits the parameters of
right.
generally what we like to talk about.
We like having a little book moment and then having a little visual moment here as well.
Yeah.
So I asked on Twitter about this series, which I have heard about, but I don't know about. I've just heard people talking about it, and the stuff I've heard is not really that good, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it. And I just asked, is this our shit? Like, is this...
the next frontier.
Right, exactly. Like, is this... When we talk about cryptids here, and vampire... We talk about weird shit, right? Cryptids-esque. Is this it? So, I am referring to specifically the A Court of Thorns and Roses series.
Ooh.
And a lot of the people on Twitter said, absolutely, this is what you talk about. Which made me both curious, but also very scared because of what I've heard about.
Yeah.
Now, could you share what you said in the Lost episode? Because this is a fun little twist on a new classic here.
Yeah, I have read at least I've read the first book of this series.
And is it what we talk about on here?
It is very close, almost exactly the kind of thing that we do, which means it's essentially porn.
Great.
It involves abusive romances.
Yeah,
packaged as poetic and beautiful, right?
Right.
And has an element, or a very large element, of fantasy / monster, cryptid, whatever.
Right. If I remember what our unofficial intern, Taylor Browntown-Lautner, said on that thread, is that it has fantasy dick
yes.
in it, which is essentially what we talk about in this show.
Right.
More or less.
Yeah.
So, what I am asking for the class here is if you are interested in us pursuing this, I can be bought.
Right.
What I will say as a threat, just a gentle threat, is if y'all remember, you wanted us to read the You series. Yeah. And then you gave us so much shit for it when you realized it was bad. Right. So, yeah. I just want you to know.
Just a healthy reminder.
Just a reminder that, like, we can be bought.
Yes.
We can definitely read it and watch it when it comes out, I guess. Yeah. But also know that, one, this looks like the longest series.
Yeah. I think all of the books are, like, at least 400 pages.
Fucking Christ.
I know.
So, this would be years, folks.
Yeah.
Years. I am happy to read what looks like a shit show from the friends that I've had read this.
Yeah.
But just know that if it's not good,
yeah,
that's your fault.
Right. That's on you, buddy. Sorry.
We have a Twilight backstory this week. Usually, when I share these on the show, I don't include the subject line of these because they are usually some variation of, look at me, I'm gay now. Congrats. Or this is my Twilight backstory, which is fine because it makes it very easy to find in our inbox.
Yeah.
I thought this one had a little bit of a spice on it, so I thought I would share. A gay with no taste. My story of loving the dumpster fire that is Twilight. Hello, my fellow gays. I'm so glad I found your podcast a year ago, and I finally am all caught up and ready to share my horrible, lovely, I don't know why I said that like that, Twilight backstory. I am 23 and from a small university town in Indiana, and was not about to come out to my family, even though they were accepting as hell. So, when I was 10 years old, my stepsister lent me the one and only Twilight. My supple young brain loved the shit out of that book, and I read New Moon and Eclipse shortly after. I dragged my male best friend to the movies and got the first copy of Breaking Dawn to hit the shelves in my town. I loved them, and I was a die-hard Team Edward fan, and I had a shrine in my closet to him, and that is funny, because in that closet was also my homosexuality.
Yes.
That's great. I grew out of that and moved on to more adult things, like Divergent.
Yes.
Hey, same. Anyways, I then lived a while without the shadow of Twilight and came out, did the whole, I like women, I was just crushing on K-Stu and Rosalie, not Edward and Jasper the whole time thing, and was able to live down my former life until 2019. I had moved to Boston for work and started hanging out with my aunt who had a teenage son and daughter. I watched the movies again because my cousin started reading the books and were shocked to know how much information about Twilight was stored deep in my brain. I watched them all and reread the books and do not know how I lived my life without being deeply attracted to Leah Clearwater. Hey, same. I have now had to come out once again to my family as a born-again twihard and reevaluate whether I need to go back to theory. I hope that this fan fiction I found makes you lovely people as uncomfortable as it made me. From Sam P. in Boston.
Incredible.
Amazing. I love that. I love how many people have reread these and realized how much they love Leah, which makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Justice for her.
Yes, absolutely.
It is very ironic to me that Stephanie was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put in Leah. She's just like a side character. She's just like whatever. And only for her fan base to realize like they will kill for Leah.
Yes, absolutely.
Love that. It has been a minute
Ooh.
Since we have talked about the host.
We back.
The last time that we chatted about this was very a la Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Got lots of buffs, lots of voting that was going on. It wasn't going great.
No.
For Wander. It reminds me a lot of that audio that's going around on TikTok right now of the like, you need to leave. Which I am loving of a lot of people doing in like Trader Joe's asking about like fucking flaming hot Cheetos, which is a mood.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, it was not going well for Wander, we will say, which is great. So, oh, and there was also soccer. We should mention.
Sports.
That's also really important.
Yes.
Because that is going to start off with chapter 37. And if folks are like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's going to be really confusing. So, chapter 37. We've got lots of sport still continuing. Stephanie Meyer, if there's one thing that we know about her, it is that she loves a protagonist that does not understand athleticism.
At all. In any conceivable way.
Yep. And so we've got Wander just chilling on the sidelines, observing all of these folks playing sports, being like, wow, what must it be like to be talented in sports? The other thing that I found really weird, I'm just like moving my keyboard, is I have found it very confusing in a lot of this book, but especially at the beginning of this chapter, that Wander is observing these like large communal activities.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand when there are groups of people interacting with each other, specifically siblings.
Yes.
There is a moment in the beginning here when they are playing sports and Ian and Kyle are, I would say, resolving their tension by just like fucking pushing each other and like fighting. And Wander is incredibly concerned and is like, I don't feel good about this. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Wander, who has been to a ton of different societies, most of which we can tell are different, like, animal species.
Right.
And
so,
yet,
like, why is this a foreign concept? You know?
Right, exactly.
It just feels weird.
Only for Melanie to have to, like, show puppies in Wander's brain and be like, hey, this is how siblings do.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And, like, Wander is supposed to be incredibly intelligent.
I agree.
And, like, has taught people and, like, has been to all these places and has examined different types of life forever. And
it's like a guest lecture about,
right.
I don't know if it's supposed to be, like, psychology or, like, interactions with other species, but it's like, what do you mean that you have to see people play fighting and you're like, oh my god, got it.
Right.
What? What are you talking about? What do you mean that you see Jared hold out his hand to you to help you up and you're like, hello? Like,
hold on.
There aren't other species that, like, help other people up?
Right.
What are you talking about?
Come on.
It's just moments like this where we are over halfway in this book. We know that Wander is incredibly well-versed in culture.
Yeah.
In so many different cultures.
Yes. Yeah.
Why are we pretending like Wander is not super intelligent in so many
smarter
different
than
ways?
Everyone else here.
Exactly. Oh, it's so frustrating. Anyways, we go from this very confusing moment. Actually, really, this whole chapter is so many people around Wander pretending like Wander is not incredibly intelligent. Stephanie in this whole chapter is pretending like Wander isn't a master of understanding dynamics between people.
I hate it here.
Because this whole chapter really should be like Wander immediately figuring out the dynamic between Wander, Jared, and Ian.
Yeah.
And being like, I've seen this happen between other people on different planets. And this is super territorial and gross. What if we just talked this out?
Yeah.
Because we can communicate verbally out loud.
How about that?
But that wouldn't be, like, interesting or have, like, tension.
Ugh.
Like, fuck off, Stephanie.
Why can't we have a conversation?
Exactly. This chapter turns into basically a tug of war with Wander in the middle and Jared and Ian on other sides of them.
Right.
Super gross.
Very cool. Not at all
And
compromising.
I don't like No.
Not at all
Not
uncomfortable.
Not at all nasty. The important thing to remember for folks that might have either forgotten, because it was easy for me to as well, or whatever, is that during this chapter, Wander is still, like, bodily fucked up.
Right.
From Kyle
getting
killing them.
Yeah.
Is not doing well from the whole, like, almost dying thing and the morphine thing. Yeah. There's a lot of, like, struggles happening here.
Yeah.
And instead of these two men who say they care about Wander and Melanie, actually showing that and communicating it outwards, what they do instead is pretend like Wander's body is Gumby and literally pull it. Literally. Like, grab it until it's purple and just fucking pull it and hope for the best. Like, that's normal. Like, you would do that before the apocalypse. Hello. Men?
Like, who taught them
up?
this? Is this like, this is my first reaction of someone who is clearly fucked up in their body. How about we just pull them apart?
Yeah.
Like a little string
who taught
cheese.
You?
What the fuck?
Who taught you to hold on to someone's fingertips until they turn purple? Who told you to pull someone up by their arms and just hold them there when they are in pain and injured? Hello? What is this? What is going on here?
Yeah.
My dudes, stop this. I hate it. It's so gross.
Come on, guys.
Especially because they are doing it under the guise of like, oh, Wander, you're like so in pain, you're like so injured. We're gonna take you to a place where you're gonna like feel better.
Right.
Meanwhile, Wander is literally turning purple. Hello, men. What is happening here?
What's going on?
I hate it so much. Stephanie, let's have a talk. Why? First of all. Second of all, please stop.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you. Eventually, there's some sort of, I don't know if it's less of a compromise as much as it is just like one of them giving up. But they do end up at Ian's, I don't like calling it Ian's hole, but we'll call it Ian's room.
Yeah.
That is where Ian ends up making the decision that, like, Wander needs to rest, which he's not wrong, because Wander, like, looks tired.
Right.
And needs to heal, which fair. There is a decision of, like, Wander needs to sleep here and rest, and they will get food for them later. The problem, though, is Melanie is very angry. I mean, when isn't Melanie angry, right?
Right. Melanie's pissed always.
Melanie is in a constant state of, like, anger. But Melanie is very upset because of the fact that there are 2 beds in this room. And Wander, in their attempt to, like, be cordial, was like, oh, I mean, this is Ian's room, so Ian can also stay here. And Melanie was like, you fucking fool. He's just gonna, like, stay in here with you, right? Mm-hmm. And Wanda did not get it. Did not understand that, like, by accepting that, it was an invitation for something more, probably.
Right. Wink.
But of course, oh, Wanda.
Oh, baby.
You did not possibly get that. At the end of this chapter, just when you might have the decent hope that there would not be more gross interactions between Ian and Jared, there's more.
Just you wait. Just heating up, baby.
If you, at any point, were like, you know what I need more of in my life is another version of the tent scene in Eclipse, Steph has got you. She's got you. She knows what you need, and she has provided that scene for you at the end of chapter 37 in the
almost
host.
To a 1-to-1 ratio.
100%. Wanda is starting to fall asleep in Ian's room, but as most of Stephanie's protagonists do, Wanda is, quote, falling asleep.
Yeah. So she can still hear every word.
Exactly. So this dialogue happens between the two of them. And it is one of the most territorial things I think I've ever read.
Yeah.
In the sense of it's like, it's almost like the mix of the I'm Sweden, or no, I'm Switzerland dialogue in Eclipse and the tent scene, where it's like, Jared is doing the, like, keep your hands off of her thing. And it's like, it's so gross. There's a lot of conversations between the two of them about who the body belongs to and who the person belongs to.
Cool. Because Steph loves biology and bodies and her science so much.
So Stephanie's not doing the best when it comes to getting the science. Listen.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that, according to Stephanie's science, right? Wanda does inhabit this body.
Yeah.
And Melanie also inhabits this body.
Right.
And both of these men are technically attracted to the different souls.
Right.
Here. So this gets a little bit more confusing.
Yeah. It's like Schrodinger's Wanda. Who's going to be in that one?
Literally. But that also makes this somehow even more nasty during this conversation, because the both of them are just like, are you jealous of this yet? Like, this is how far I've gotten. Are you jealous of this yet, Ian? Are you jealous of this yet, Jared? And it's like, who are you doing this for?
Right.
Are you doing this because you were actually attracted to Melanie? Are you doing this because you're attracted to Wanda? Or are you just trying to get Ian jealous?
Right.
Like, who is this for? I hate
Come on.
it. So there's a lot of nastiness that is going on there.
Nasty boys.
They're pretty gross. It ends up with Ian being incredibly frustrated. And he goes back into his room. He storms back in. And realizes that Wanda is awake. After having the conversation with Jared about, like, how much he wants to, like, kiss Wanda.
Right.
Realizes that Wanda is awake and is like, oh, so you, like, heard all of that, didn't you?
I thought that was just me and the boys. I didn't know.
Me and the boys just, like, screaming in these caves that are really good for acoustics.
Right. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, you heard us objectifying you, babe. Oh, man. Oh.
Babe, we were just, like, testing out how the sound works, though.
Right. We were just, like, it was top of the dome, baby, you know? Didn't matter. It didn't mean anything.
It's just, you know, like, it's just the lack of the oxygen in these caves, babe. It's just,
you
like...
yell.
And so, of course, Wanda's like, the sound carries when you're just in rock.
Yeah.
There's no way for it to be absorbed.
Yeah.
And so the chapter ends with Ian being like, so, I mean, you essentially just heard me lay it all out. Do you want to fuck?
Right. It's like, so did that turn you on or anything? Like, are we good?
Yeah.
Are you into that?
You want to, how about them rocks, though?
Right.
You good with this? Now that I just proclaimed my love to you and the rocks, how about it?
How about that?
How about that? Chapter 38 is gross for a lot of different reasons. For me, the only benefit was how mad Melanie is throughout all of it.
Right.
Ian is struggling.
Yeah.
With this. And Wanda is struggling with this. And that would be difficult for two awkward people trying to have an intimate moment.
Yes.
When one of them is not human. That would be difficult enough. Then you add on top of that there is another person in this equation who doesn't want to be there.
Right.
And hates the idea of this whole situation and is determined to fuck up every part of this.
You know, why not?
I don't know that Stephanie meant to make this as funny as she did.
Yeah, right.
But goddamn if it wasn't, though.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. So
same with, like, the, it has the same vibes of, like, everyone bringing Wanda, like, 10 granola bars each, and it's like as a declaration of love.
100%.
And it's like, I don't think this was intended to be funny, but this is incredibly funny.
This is
how
amazing.
this is playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian is trying his best to be like, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Right.
And I'm going to ask, as I touch you, like, how's this feel?
Yeah.
How's this doing? I'm just gonna kind of research this out and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Which, you know, God bless him. Like, I don't know what else I would do in that situation other than just be open and curious.
Right.
The problem is that it seems like Wanda has never experienced this before.
Mm.
And also, Melanie is kind of being forced to, like, guide through with this. And so Wanda's like, yeah, I mean, that seems fine, I guess.
I do feel something, you know? It does feel like someone is touching me, so...
Right. And then Melanie's like, God damn it. Right. And it's like being forced to intervene, and it's like, no, You don't understand.
Yeah.
This is what he means when he says, does this feel good?
Mm-hmm.
And Wanda's like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it. Okay, shit, got it. And so when Ian asks again, Wanda's like, Melanie says it's bad.
So... So it turns out I do hate this.
And so Ian's like, fuck. But what do you think, though?
Right.
And so Wanda's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I realize I don't have the vocabulary for any of this.
Yep. And that is essentially how all of this chapter goes, except for that Melanie keeps like intervening and is like, Melanie's angry and Melanie wants you to go to hell. So how about that?
With what you will, you know?
Yeah. Which would make this a funny chapter. Yeah. If that just kept going.
Right. Yeah.
The problem is that Ian gets gross. It reminds us that he is being written by Stephanie Meyer. Yeah. Because of the fact that he does a thing where he's like, they start, Ian and Wanda are having questions, and Wanda ends up asking, like, well, what if I had come here and met you in Magnolia or Wes's body? Yeah. And Ian's like, I don't know. But it doesn't matter because you're female. You just are. Right.
So you were built for this. That's what your body is supposed to do.
And Wanda is like, I request that, but I could be put into a man's body and I would function just fine. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter to me. Because body and soul are two different things in my case. Right. And Ian, because he's being written by Stephanie, is like, but you're not in a man's body. And that's what matters to me. Yeah. So thank you, Stephanie, for reminding us.
Gender, you know? What's up with
just
that?
Just reminding us that no matter what, that just like really matters to you.
Yeah. She gets so, it's like those, like she gets so close to the cusp of like getting somewhere.
100%.
Like, in a way that's like, we could have some fun with gender, or we can have some fun with sexuality. Like we can go into like fluid spaces here, which is already very easy to do in like young fiction and stuff that's like everyone's an alien or whatever anyway. Like we're in already transgressive stuff, concepts, like the packaging and the foundation is there. And she gets so close, and it's like, I will acknowledge this thing does exist, but I will say that is weird, and I will back away from it as quickly as possible.
I completely agree. It almost makes me think that like she like passed that line. Mm-hmm. And because she was like, yeah, it's like science fiction. And then one of her editors was like, wow, Stephanie, this is such a great departure from your previous work. Right. I really like how you were really exploring gender here. And then she was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And then just like big red line, just like X'd all of it out. And that's such a disappointment, right? Because like if nowhere else, it's science fiction. Like, Stephanie, yeah. If there was ever a way for you to at least start somewhere, start in sci-fi, play around with it, get comfortable, and then realize like, oh, maybe it doesn't have to just be in sci-fi. Yeah. Maybe it could also be like fucking contemporary. Yeah. Or maybe, and Stephanie, I know this is like a big deal, but like maybe it could also be in like historical fiction too. Right. Whoa. Maybe like it also exists.
Hear me out.
Oh God. Yeah, it's just, she's just so close. Right. To the point where it's like, I can't, it's gotta be an accident. Like, it's just, but the rest of the chapter is just, unfortunately, Ian realizing that, like, there's no reaction coming from Wanda yet. Yeah. And instead of, I don't know, I mean, he's allowed to have his feelings, but instead of just, like, realizing, like, oh, this is just going to take time.
Right.
Because it's clear that, like, Wanda just hasn't experienced this before. He's just very, like, and is very, it's a very, like, emotionally immature reaction to that.
Yeah.
And, like, jealous, too. Because he starts to compare the reaction that Wanda/Melanie had with Jared.
Right.
So, that's gross, but whatever. The chapter ends with Jamie, as usual, coming in as the comedic relief with a fucking, like, 90s laugh stinger. Talking about, like, do you want some, like, beef jerky after your makeout session?
So, like, are you hungry? Or want a little snack?
What's up, cool kids? And bringing in the great news that Jared has found an open room that works great and is big enough for 3 people. For Jared, for Jamie, and for Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
But what Jamie says and what Wanda hears is that it is big enough for Jared, Jamie, and Melanie. Just like it was in the before times.
Right.
And after this, like, incredibly overstimulating experience, that just kind of, like, kills Wanda on the inside.
Baby.
And so it's just kind of been a very exhausting day. And, like, no Cheetos for it, even.
I know. You can't even get Wanda a bag of Cheetos after all the trauma.
Exactly.
Everything they've been through. They've had a rough day.
Getting, like, almost literally ripped apart by these 2 horny men.
Right.
And getting, like, rubbed on.
Yeah.
And then being told that, like, here's a room, but you're not welcome in it. And then there's no Cheetos for it. Like, what the hell?
There's not even Cheetos. So
right.
What's the point?
It's just beef jerky and corn on the cob. Like, no thank you.
Yeah, God.
I'm good, actually. I'm so good. When we are back next week,
Ew.
we will have chapters 39 and 40.
Ooh.
We are slowly but surely making it to the 60% way mark.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting there. We have some fantastic patrons to thank.
Thank you to Mallory Hardwick.
Pew, 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 pew. Would you like to pew pew with me for our fantastic patron of Katie Black?
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Shout out Carrie Goldberg.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Mickey Meyer.
Shout out Rebecca Cullen. Ooh.
Pew, 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 pew.
Ooh. Yes.
Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Mo.
Did you see that thing I posted on Twitter?
Yes, I did. That's a good TikTok. Mulch representation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love to
It's
see
not
it.
that hard. It's, like, pretty hard to find mulch representation.
Yeah.
And so I'm always excited when I see it.
Absolutely. Thank you to Taylor, Brown, Town, Lautner.
Thank you to Jasmine, Anastasia.
Ooh, yeah. Oh. Thank you to Bailey Christian.
Thank you to Jay Molina.
Thank you to Cassandra Bomer. Ooh. Ooh.
Thank you to Tucson Wanderer.
Ah, yeah. Woo. Thank you to Kristen Strider.
Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Mom. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh, 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 yes. Yes.
Pew, pew, pew,
Shout out Casey Yorkie.
pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Sarah Blythe. Bum, 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 bum.
And thank you to Lara Forty. Yes. Yes.
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes. I have a fan fiction this week.
Please.
This is from our unofficial intern, Taylor Browntown Lautner.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. This is a fan fiction from another crossover that I don't understand, because Taylor is younger than me, I think.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm old. I'm made of dust. It's fine. This is a Twilight and Victorious crossover titled Don't Forget by the user XX Edwards Bella XX. This was published on December 3rd, 2010. And the summary is, Edward leaves Bella in New Moon. 90 years later, Edward, Tanya, Alice, and Rosalie go to see their favorite singer, Izzy. What they don't know is that Izzy is Bella with a completely different look. This is from Chapter 2, Bella's point of view.
Nice.
I am now preparing for my performance. Did I tell you that I am a superstar like Miley Cyrus, like Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, and etc.? I walked into my dressing room where I got my makeup and hair done. Hey, sweetie, Angela said sweetly. I made a good decision by letting Angela do my makeup and Leah do my hair. Yeah, me and Leah are besties with Angela. Hey, Bells, you ready? Leah asked. Hey, guys, yeah, I am ready, I said excitedly. Angela did my basic makeup, that's important, for my first song, and Leah did my hair straight. I forgot to tell you, I'm a vampire now, and I decided a change, so I changed my style and my hair to magenta and straight. I am now girly, but rock and roll sort of the time. I looked awesome. My first outfit was gray, kind of dolly dress, thigh highs, with gold sandals and gold and pearl dangly earrings. My second outfit was black panties, with a blue tank top barely covering my, I think that's supposed to say tatas, with trainer-like high heels and a magenta color to match my hair, I realized. The last outfit I'd be wearing was a red sweatshirt with wool shorts with knee-high socks and a brown leather belt around my stomach, plus my red high heels. Okay, let's get busy. I changed into my first outfit and walked on stage. Everyone erupted into applause. End scene.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
I love that that Bella is a superstar whose songs are Katy Perry covers, which is great.
That just, it fits in a beautifully twisted way, you know.
She is singing Don't Forget, Teenage Dream, and Firework. Fuck yes.
Oh
I love
this.
I
think really when Bella listened to Do You Ever Feel Like a Plastic Bag, she's like, I do. I actually
do.
Always, constantly.
That's
do kind of
feel
my
like
whole
a plastic
thing.
bag. I feel that. And good for her, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love the idea. I just want to know a little bit more about this timeline, personally, from this author. 90 years into the future, we are still vibing to Katy Perry.
Right.
It's okay. I just have a couple of logistical questions, but I love the creative freedom.
I mean, good for her, if that is the case.
Yeah, no, it's great. Just to kind of close things out here, please do your civic duty. Write to Yahoo.
Yes.
We are the change. If I learned anything from Coney 2012,
Stop.
we are the change. You know, we can make a difference or whatever.
We can do it. We can Hands Across America this.
We can just put on our, listen, folks, just put on our Toms and we can
Yes.
We can end this. It's fine. As we say here in the Pacific Northwest.
Get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Everybody say whale.
Stop. I will not yes and this.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be alone in the ship.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. Our theme music is by Eli Krause, and our artwork is by Maddie Padilla. Follow the show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. Send us an email or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can find Allie at Into Wild Places and me at Cody Crow.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.